Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live once again for the second race now of a doubleheader Wednesday night. NASCAR 05, the Busch Series at Talladega for the Aaron's 312. We're going to see who's going to win on this big, bad, and fast racetrack. It is the first and only trip for the Busch Series to Talladega this season for race number 8. Still early in the year, points are very tight. Top 4 all within one race of points from each other, and I'm sure that might even contest a little bit closer at the end of today's race. Joey Logano fan, welcome to the stream. 312 miles, 117 laps around the Talladega Super Speedway. Harvick rolls off 9th after qualifying, but we'll see where he'll finish in the race today. Green flag in the air. Talladega Super Speedway, here we go. For some NASCAR Busch Series action. Schneider with a little tap to the 152 and kind of crowded down in front of him as well, getting into the corner. No double yellow line rule here with this one, so don't worry if I pass below the double yellow line throughout the course of today's race. I might do it intentionally. That was a risky block on lap 1 as well. Maybe a little too dicey off the start here for Harvick's liking. He's quickly up to 6th though. Has to make sure he doesn't lose the draft from these guys ahead of him. He got up to speed pretty quick. A little bounce off the apron for whoever's behind Harvick now. I believe that might have been David Stremme in the 32. Kyle Busch with a run on the high side, and those two started in the same row because Kyle Busch started in 10th as well. 3 wide within the top 6. Braves football team, welcome to the stream. Harvick trying to pull the back bumper of Harvick. Harvick trying to pull the back bumper of Harvick. Harvick trying to pull the back bumper of Kyle Busch. And 2x2 racing here in this large pack at Talladega. 119, who was one of the slower cars in the last race. Well, it's Talladega. It's a race anybody can win. Oh, and he almost drives into the 157. That was Eddie Hamlock in the 119. Riding in the Gillette car. Kyle Busch to the inside. Harvick's in the middle, 3 wide. Precarious position here down the back straightaway. Trying to stay in line and not wreck the race car. You saw him wobbling all over the racetrack. Cap 24, welcome to the stream. Harvick drove it in way too low into turns 3 and 4. It cost him to lose his momentum that he did have. Kyle Busch now gets back to the outside. It looks like he'll make the pass. Being followed as well by the 168, as well as the 02 of Hermie Sadler. And these guys are going to try to gang back up on the top 3 again. Already 4 laps in, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. comes into this race, the new second place points getter. 52 points back of Harvick for the points lead. Well, Keelan Harvick's got the name game there. There's a big difference there, Cap. He wouldn't be in there without his dad, that's for sure. I'm not going to just let some random 8-year-old in. Granted, I don't think they should have let an 8-year-old in regardless, but little pass on the outside for Harvick. All over the back of Kyle Busch. He'll look to work with him in the share draft. Harvick had that big run down the back straightaway, pulls low. The 119 pulled a block on Kyle Busch. Oh, Harvick wasn't clear, and he puts the 119 in the wall. We stay green. That was a bad move. Caution, they stacked up into turn 3, likely the big one. First caution of the race. That was a bad block by Kevin Harvick. 117 goes sliding through the grass. Yeah, I'm sure they stacked up after that contact. Going off into turn 3. Like Bobby Parker was involved as well. Schneider's going to pit. Nobody else is, though. Interesting. Just going to repair whatever little bit of damage he has on the race car. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. 8-year-old to cut before taking a Decker. Well, it's not actual racing there. I could go up there and win probably. I wouldn't say that much, Cap. I don't know how much iRacing experience you have. I don't know how much he has either. But not enough to hang with him, I guess. Harvick puts himself at the rear to repair the damage, but it is Talladega, so it's not like his chances to win are out the window. It's still very early in this race as well. Better safe than sorry. Problem is he's at the back on a restart. Not just on a restart, but at the back at Talladega in general. He quickly gains 2 spots through 1 and 2 alone. A little bit of a gap, though, forming between him and the next set of cars ahead of him. Seems like he gets through the first couple gears pretty good, but from 3rd to 4th, it takes a little bit to wind up, and we saw that on the initial start of the race as well. Year and a half. I mean, a lot of those guys probably don't have a ton of iRacing experience, but just the fact of being in a cup car, I'm sure it could translate to any sort of simulator. It has to do with the same vehicle. What that was. Side drafting gone wrong, I guess. For last, Harvick held his lane. Just got ran into. Drafted behind Jared Holmes. They're starting to catch the back of the pack. Hermie Sadler to the lead off turn 4. First lead for him today. See if he can get himself 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Had a stack up off turn 4 into the tri-oval. Harvick backed out a little bit, then gets back into the throttle very quickly, and he's able to gain almost a dozen positions. About 8 spots, to be exact. Not quite a dozen. 3 wide back there as they try to file in line. That kind of separated themselves from the rest of the lead pack. That's 6 seconds off the lead at Talladega. It's quite a bit. It looks like somebody's just blown an engine off turn 4 to the inside of the racetrack. Very, very slow as somebody drops out of the pack. A little contact between Ashton Lewis and Kevin Harvick. Getting into the tri-over. Lewis about bounced off the wall. Well after the contact. Dwayne Borland in the 135 is ahead of Harvick, trying to lead this back group to the middle and front group. How quickly these guys are gaining. Sad Uranus, welcome to the stream. Bet they wouldn't let Jennifer Jo. I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like, I'm like, Jennifer Jo Cobb's probably like, I know it's iRacing, but come on. Terrible. Give a big push to Dwayne Borland, but now he pulls down to the inside. And he'll hop in line behind the 10 car now of Terry Cook. Oh, trouble, big one! Hard crash, upside down, goes multiple cars in turns 3 and 4. Harvick ran into the back of somebody trying to miss it. The 135, the 152 into the wall hard, slams back into the side of the 138, and that's how quick it happens here at this racetrack. The big one in the middle of the pack, Harvick got a piece of it. Everybody started checking up, and he couldn't check up in time. A big, big accident in turns 3 and 4. A very scary one at that. We have a lot of cars hitting pit road during our second caution of the race. Brakes work, we know that. That could have been a lot worse than what it was. Harvick tried to get to the brakes, but I mean, it just happened so fast at this racetrack. We might be seeing some debris caution. That was a nasty accident. The 138 was up on his side. He was up and over. The 152 hit the wall so hard he got up on 2 wheels. Didn't quite flip all the way end over end. Harvick just to repair damage on pit road to try and get some sort of track position out of this pit stop. Got some spots back. Green flag back in the air. A very early big one at Talladega nonetheless. Still over 100 to go. And a 312-mile race. Ooh, 119 with a block on Harvick on the restart. Wasn't quite clear as he pulled down in front of him. And that stalled Harvick out. He wasn't even up to 4th gear yet. Harvick's starting to lose these guys. Bobby Hamilton Jr. to the lead. Look at this, 3x3 on the restart behind. We didn't get to see how that wreck started, but we saw the major incident right in the middle of it. Of course, we were involved as well. Harvick has gotten to repair most of the damage. He didn't get a big piece of it, but he got a piece of it nonetheless. More than what he would have hoped for. He currently runs 17th. A lot of these guys on fresher tires around him, so they're going to have a little bit more grip and handling around this bumpier Talladega track. In this day, NASCAR. This track repaved in 2006. Before the fall race in 2006, to be exact. Somebody else probably going to have to lead this pack to the front. We haven't seen Harvick as a good lead car today. And we got a stack up in the tri-oval. Cars splitting everywhere, including Harvick up the middle. Past about 3 or 4 cars. It looked like there might have been a near accident again. That's one way for Harvick to catch the pack. To the back bumper of Tiny Buchanan in the 113. This game's physics are better than NASCAR Heat 5, I think. NASCAR 05, we saw probably the biggest crash we've seen on this playthrough yet in any of the 3 series. That was definitely a big one at Talladega, if you could ever see one. Casey Atwood coming in off a DNF. He's inside the top 10 early. Harvick trying to draft off him on the inside, but he's got Paul Menard in the 33, kind of pinching him down, trying to side draft him in the center of 3 and 4. Menard stays in front of his teammate Harvick. Both racing here at Richard Childress. Jason Keller back on the bottom. Menard down in front of Harvick, behind Keller. A lot of battling for positions, a lot of back and forth passing through the middle of the pack so far, and a lot of lead changes up towards the front so far today as well. Kind of name is Tiny Buchanan. That is a generated driver. What kind of name is Blue Castleberry? Also a generated driver in the Busch series in this game. This game is much better than NASCAR Heat 5. Well, we had maybe an enjoyable wreck for the fans, knowing that this is virtual, because that was a very scary accident in turns 3 and 4. All joking aside. 138 up on his lid. Again, I'm surprised there hasn't been any debris caution since then. Harvick just got to the inside of Paul Menard. He wasn't trying to make a pass on him. He tried to check up to stay behind Menard, and he had such a big run, he still got under him. Menard bump drafted the car in front of him. We saw the sparks flying off turn 4. He's trying to do whatever he can to get closer. Remember, though, these Gen 4 cars do not lock bumpers quite as well as, nowhere near as well, really, as the cars that you see nowadays. A lot of share drafting. Looks like there's a couple cars that lost the draft way towards the back. Oh, Menard with a block on Harvick. And Harvick about to turn the 33, getting into turn 1. Three wide, down the back straightaway now. Harvick got to run that time, Menard couldn't block. Harvick clears 2, all 3 of them going into turn 3 now. And off the exit of turn 4, they all kind of gang up on Kevin, and at least the 83 car is going to get back to his outside. Now they jump down to the bottom in the tri-oval behind Harvick. Not sure who they want to help right now. If you're just tuning in for the first time, you guys have already missed 2 cautions early in today's race, including the big one at about lap, I believe, 13 or 14. Back of the pack, we got caught up in it. They were wrecking ahead of us. We saw somebody flipping. We tried to get out of the way, and we still were not able to get out of the way in time. Harvick is not DNF this season. That damage right to the nose of the race car, too, you have to assume is going to affect the speed in this 21. Qualified 9th, he's been as high as 6th today, but that's been it. Still a lot of racing to go. Andy Brown in the 83. Running in 7th. Great run for him. Slow car on the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like somebody who just came out of the pits. Might have had damage from the earlier accident, and he's trying to stay out of the way. Somebody else on the apron now. Might have been the 2 drivers that lost the draft, and I'm sure they're just trying to stay out on their... Oh my goodness, he's in the grass. It's Mark Martin in the 9 car. What is he doing? Going into the tri-oval, Martin took it through the grass. He was already on the apron out of the way. He didn't have to go that low. What has happened to Mark Martin? He was in the top 10 earlier. Harvick didn't have much speed as a lead car earlier. I don't think he's got much now either. Andy Brown gets a little loose. Turns 3 and 4, clipping the apron a little too much. Backs off a little bit behind Harvick. Harvick needed that push too. DB Forever 85, welcome to the stream. JJ Haley and a Kyle Busch car. Well, Kyle Busch is in the 5 car in this. Harvick going to let Manny Brown go, and he's going to try to draft behind him. Try to pull closer to this lead pack again. Well, driver second in points is leading this race. Bobby Hamilton Jr. coming in off an 8th place finish at Red Bull earlier today. The first race of our doubleheader. NASCAR 07 had Breaking Benjamin Diary of Jane in it. I remember that because it was for the PSP too. The NASCAR game I played probably second most to this one. Talladega's unknown, very wild finishes. Yeah, we saw a wild wreck. One of the unknowns have already happened. And the fact it was that early in the race, you just wonder. Things have definitely calmed a little bit more since then. Can't blame these guys. Got a long race to go. See already 2 slow cars that might have been involved in the accident just super slow on the apron of the racetrack. Oh boy, they might be 4 wide in the tri-oval. Manny Brown was trying to take him, but Harvick had an even bigger run to the inside of both of them. They're still 3 wide through the tri-oval. Oh, and the 106 about got sandwiched. Harvick kind of moved up as David Green was moving down, and that was the definition of a sandwich right there for the 106. Wrong place at the wrong time. They all battle for 5th place. Green going to make a pass again. This guy's battling for position. Harvick a little loose in turns 3 and 4. Easy to do on this bumpier Talladega. Ooh, David Green. Trying to side draft the 83 back to the inside. They were doing good. They were pulling away from Harvick. As soon as they pulled out of the line, Harvick got that huge run through the tri-oval and got to their back bumper again. Brown going to block Green off. Harvick to the inside. Oh, contact with the 83 and the 37. And that stacked up the pack, and Harvick's in trouble here. Now he's got nobody to work with. He's in 5th place, but all by himself. It's Dave Blaney in this game. He is not in this game. Fortunately. I know he's in NASCAR 07. I can remember him driving the 22 car. I don't know if he's in any of these other NASCAR games, to be quite honest. First game we get to it, though, I kind of want to use him. Just being a Ryan Blaney fan, that'd be pretty cool. One of the slow cars on the apron. Hermie Sadler to the lead. Turns 3 and 4. Mark Martin still down on the apron of the racetrack. Mark Martin still in the grass. He, like, clips the grass going into the... Oh, he's in the grass again. Keep it on the track, Mark. Keep it on the asphalt, at least. At least he's keeping it on the apron. He's keeping control of it, too. Yeah, but 07 had Elliott Sadler on the cover. David Green's got a big run to the back of Kevin Harvick again. 4.5 seconds is the difference. Lap 32 to the start-finish line this time. Harvick just needs to draft to somebody and hope that he can just kind of pull away. See if David Green's going to be that somebody. Harvick's hoping it's anybody at this point. Harvick did not have a good run in the season opener at Daytona. Running 6th at this point in the race, despite having a little bit of damage from the big one. It's pretty solid. These guys are battling for the lead. It might be a 4-car pack right now, but we've seen that lead change hands quite a few times already. Ron Hornaday in the 2 has found himself back out in front. Hornaday, a 2-time Xfinity Series champ. I guess Busch Series. At this point in time, so he definitely knows how to wheel these race cars in this specific series. 3-time Truck Series champion as well as Ron Hornaday. Second on the all-time win list as well for the Truck Series. Kyle Busch just broke his record a few years ago. Moffitt's in the lead. Oh, the O2, gotcha. Yeah. Our Motorsports. Nope, that would be Hermie Sadler. Ooh, wow, Harvick got loose off turn 4. Still trying to catch it. He's staying in the gas. He is digging. And these 3 cars staying single file. They are closing in on the leaders. About 3.7 back. It was 4.6. The top 4 just keep battling for position. These 3 guys are not. They're all staying single file. They'll catch them eventually. And they've only been running single file for about 2 or 3 laps. Problem is Harvick can't go that much further on fuel. Remember, he did not pit for fuel or tires during that second caution like everybody else did. And I think pretty much everybody came into the pits. No way to pause and check the leaderboard like in NASCAR Thunder 04. Otherwise, I would have done that already just to see who got taken out in the big one. I'd have to imagine we had a couple DNFs. There were a couple cars that hit really hard, including, again, the 138 who ended up upside down in the middle of turns 3 and 4. 3.1, 3.2 now in turns 3 and 4. Half a second quicker and about a lap and a quarter. It's helping Harvick save a little bit of fuel as well. Writing a research paper that involves attacking NASCAR. Attacking NASCAR? Are you personally attacking NASCAR, or is it about? Curious to know what it's about. Hopefully it's for the good of the sport, I would hope. Harvick physically pushing David Green. Bump drafting him. Fuel tank's almost empty for Kevin Harvick. 2.7 seconds now off the lead. .6. Harvick doesn't want to run out of fuel around this long racetrack. He's going to have to bring it into the pits this time. Doesn't want to risk running another lap. Going to be about a 2.3 second difference between Harvick and 6th and teammate and race leader Ron Hornaday. Now 2.2, 2.1, locking the tires up, trying to make it to pit road. 70 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit. Easily gets down in time. No tires for Kevin Harvick. Full tank of fuel, that's it. I guess no Mr. Clean Crew, I guess. No mistakes on the fuel only stop. Harvick trying to gain those extra 2.1 seconds from coming into the pits. Oh man, 152's got heavy damage. He was involved heavily in that big accident. Surprised he hasn't shedded debris yet. So Harvick can go quite a ways on fuel now, and everybody else will have to pit eventually also. Harvick gets up to speed with nobody around him. Yeah, that song is on this game, Tim. From Saliva. What's that song called? It's like The Wickedest or The Wicked something. I can't remember it. I know the song, though. Harvick would like to draft with the 152. The problem is he's got so much damage. If he does shed debris, Harvick would run it right over. Oh, he's trying to block Harvick. Harvick all the way up near the wall to get around Darrell Bradford. My goodness. He was desperately trying to pick up Harvick in the draft, and Harvick stayed in the throttle and got right around him. Caution! Trouble! On the racetrack. That's 152. Well, it's a good thing Harvick didn't draft behind him. So our third caution of the race is out. First for debris after, remember, he was involved in the big one. Harvick's going to hit pit road again. He's going to take tires this time because he took fuel only earlier. Looks like everybody else is going to stay out. Why not? Fuel and tires for Kevin Harvick. Nobody else comes to pit road. The 152's on pit road. He'll stay on the same strategy. Harvick still on the lead lap as well. Definitely include the Gano on the essay. So, NASCAR is not necessarily polluting the environment with fuel. They now use ethanol, which is, they don't use actual gasoline or fuel like, cars do necessarily. Most other motorsports use, maybe not ethanol exactly, but other forms of non-fossilized fuels. So they are cutting back on like pollution and stuff. They used to use regular fuel for the longest time. I don't know how long they've been using ethanol for. I don't know if they brought that in when they first went to the carb tomorrow or if they brought that in before that. I really don't know, but they use ethanol, so they don't use actual gasoline. So make sure you do your research on it, at least before you state that they use gasoline or something like that. I don't know the full details of it, but I know it's a lot safer for the environment than what normal gasoline would be. Well, everybody's bunched back together again on another restart. Look at this. They are nearly 4 wide off of turn 4. As everybody's trying to get up to speed, and quickly the 109 is going to get to the back of this pack. So is Kevin Harvick. Harvick's already going to look low and try to make some passes. Ron Hornaday Jr. quickly in the lead. Look at the run Harvick's got. 3 wide, nearly 4 wide into the corner. Somebody's slowing this group up. Harvick's on the apron trying to get back up onto the racetrack. It's the 152. His deck lid is flapping away in the wind as he stacked the field up. Harvick went to the apron 4 wide to miss everybody and passed about half the field. He's up to 24th. And we might get another caution coming pretty soon. We get another one. Harvick's definitely staying out. And when he just pitted. 152 was on pit road and must not have been able to get all the damage repaired. Harvick's found Dwayne Borland once again. These two drafted pretty well with each other earlier in the race. We need debris cautions on the next NASCAR game too. Make it more realistic with the damage model. We're 5 games into it, we still don't have a good damage model on NASCAR Heat. Wide to the bottom for Harvick underneath Borland. And the 107. Going to make a couple passes there. Make sure he didn't pull up too early. And he's got Manny Brown in the 83 car to draft with. He's also drafted well with him today. He's going to make a quick pass on Tiny Buchanan in the 113 for 23rd. Again, Harvick's got fresher tires. And we know he can go a lot further than everybody else on fuel now. Everybody else might be waiting for another debris caution off the 152. That's because this game, it doesn't repair all the damage. That's why we don't have a damage clock. The only reason we have a damage clock with NASCAR Heat is because the damage model is not good. By that I mean like you can literally have 20 seconds of damage and repair it all under one pit stop. It'll take extra time, but you can repair it all. That's just not accurate. That's the only reason we have it. So that way, if we have a significant amount of damage, we can't repair it all. This game, or any of the EA games, really, any other NASCAR game that I've known of, can't repair all the damage. I've never played the U-Technics games, but I would assume it might be the same for that, too. Harvick the 22nd, passing Manny Brown. I always blame Logano for everything. Even if he's like nowhere near it. Like the big one at Talladega that we just had earlier in the race. Just like, gosh darn it, Logano, he's not even in this race. There he goes again. 22 is being driven by Jason Keller in the Busch Series. The inside of Bobby Parker. 19th. We had 2 drivers hit pit road. That last time by, those were the only 2 drivers to hit pit road during this green flag stint. Yeah, you could repair all the damage in the easy mode in this game. Well, the thing is, the easy mode in this game, you could also repair the damage without even having to pit. Like, what was it, like R1 or L1 you could press? Or R2 or L2, something like that. If you had heavy damage, you could repair it under green. J.J. Yeley to the lead. Ron Hornaday and many others coming into the pit lane this time. Harvick about got turned by Bobby Parker in the center of the tri-oval. Parker was looking to maybe pull out and either side draft or make a pass. He got way too close. Slight bit of contact. Parker actually ended up in the wall getting into turn 1. Harvick stayed in the gas, drove right out of it. Still waiting for that debris caution on the 152. I saw it a little bit earlier. That's what the last caution was for, and I'm sure we're going to get one sooner rather than later here as well. We're currently at lap 50. Manny Brown again looking to the outside. Make the pass. For the single car speed is just a struggle for Harvick, and that damage from the big one, again, really affecting him in that said speed. Big speed down the back straightaway. Field stacking up, it looks like getting into turns 3 and 4. Some more cars trying to get up to speed. Harvick going to get to the outside of Manny Brown. I was going to say, I didn't think he was clear. That's why he didn't move down. And Brown's coming to pit road anyway. We won a championship on this game yet. Well, this is our first season in every series on this game, so we haven't done it with the playthrough, and we've got a caution somewhere on the racetrack. Our fourth caution of the race might have been the debris off the 152 of Borland. Oh, and it wasn't! Another big one! The 168 up and over as he ran into the back of a lap car coming off of pit road, it looked like. Oh, what a hard hit to the back of the 108. The second car to flip in this race for two very different accidents. Sliding on his roof, caution will wait. Another big crash. This one only taking out two cars, but our second rollover. And Harvick will be the new leader on the restart. Well, 5 bonus points. First lap led of the day. It took over 50 to get there, and it took a little bit of strategy pitting before the 2 yellows, but he's out in front. Gets a good launch on the restart from the lead. Quickly pulls down in front of the lap car, the 117. Remember, it takes a little bit for this 21 car to get up to speed. Off turn 2, he's still out in front with the clean air. That's going to help him. Down the back, trying to control the lanes. Got to be very careful. We've seen 2 huge crashes already today. Somebody just dropped down to the apron just to get out of harm's way. Might have been one of the lap cars. Could have very well been the 152. That would have been the smart play, that's for sure. Outside lane rolling again, but that was the 117. He's a lap down. The guy who's not a lap down, who will take the lead off turn 4, is Bobby Hamilton Jr. So Harvick still has not yet led a green flag lap, but he did get 5 bonus points for leading under the caution. Big run now behind Bobby Hamilton Jr., who quickly puts the 117 a lap down again. 117 is trying to race for his lap back, otherwise he's over for a caution to get the free pass. Big run down the back straightaway. Harvick to the inside, and he'll pass the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Back again. Quick block down the back straightaway. Pulls clear. Harvick trying to lead that first green flag lap of the day. Lap 57 now. Blocks Hamilton down to the bottom, and, well, this is the racing you guys came for now. Pack racing again at Talladega. Oh, contact with Hamilton. Barely kept it off the wall. Harvick leads his first green flag lap. Wasn't clean, but, I mean, he got it done, I guess. Not what he wanted to do. He wasn't really trying to block. He was just trying to crowd Hamilton and end up making contact with it. It's very tough at these high speeds that we've seen today. And now it's David Stremme to the high side for the lead. 100% prestige for the career mode. I would like to unlock all the chase plates, that's for sure. Stremme to the lead. Oh boy. Car on the high side of Harvick. I believe that's Matt Kenseth in the 17. Stremme out in front here at Talladega. Harvick getting a big pull into turns 1 and 2. Trying to look up high. Stremme going up the block. Big Mac the GOAT, welcome to the stream. Harvick way down to the inside. On that yellow line. Side by side now with Stremme. Again, he's lacking some speed with the damage from the first big one earlier in the race. Kenseth clipped the apron. Contact between Stremme and Harvick. Harvick pushed tight up the racetrack. Stremme ends up in the wall now. Loses the lead. Caution as they stack up off turn 4. Our 5th caution of the race. Oh, that might have been because of Harvick. Oh, no, it wasn't a stack up, and the 168 goes around. Oh, hard into the inside wall. He got ran into from behind. Couldn't tell who by. So it looked like he got ran into from behind off turn 4. I guess it wasn't a stack up. Second time he's been in an accident. I'm surprised he's still running. He flipped and now he hit the inside retaining wall hard, head on. He's still in the race though. More caution laps led for Harvick. Green flag back in the air, lap 63. And 5 cautions already today. Harvick trying to nail this restart. Quickly gets out in front of the lap car of Casey Atwood, getting into turns 1 and 2. When he goes from 3rd to 4th gear, again, is where that car just can't get going. It's almost like he stays in 3rd gear too long. Matt Kenseth in 2nd place, trying to charge down on the bottom. Atwood's a lap down, remember, on the high side in the 14. They're already splitting 3 wide. Atwood going to get back on the lead lap for the moment. Kenseth to the high side, car low. Kenseth almost in the wall off turn 4. Lap car of Trey Murray in the 113. Matt Kenseth leads in the Busch Series here at Talladega. Harvick's lost the bottom again. Oh, and the 117 tried to block. He wasn't clear. How many near accidents are we going to have today? Well, I had problems with my old controller, but not the new one I've got now. Not really. Still a little boxy, but that's mainly the game in general. It's not so much the controller. It's being an older game. Here comes the run to the high side. I thought Harvick was going to block again. Not quite. Looked like he was going to. Harvick got up there, but he couldn't side draft him enough. It's so hard to side draft aggressively. This game's so much harder to keep control of the race car. Kenseth down to the inside. Harvick's below the yellow line trying to get underneath him. Got to his inside, but couldn't make the pass. Harvick up high. Kenseth's got a really fast race car. Problem is, he got way too far ahead of Harvick off turn 4 that time. Harvick gets a massive run in this draft. Kenseth's going to be a sitting duck. Actually, Kenseth's doing pretty good on his own right now. A lot harder to stay in a pack with these Gen 4 cars. Maybe a little help from Atwood. I think Ron Hornaday's in the mix behind him. Here comes Ron Hornaday. What a big draft. But it's Matt Kenseth by himself leading this race. He's got almost a second lead on everybody else. Harvick's going to go high to block Atwood. He's going to give up the bottom intentionally to let his teammate of Hornaday go for second place, and Harvick's going to try to draft behind Ron Hornaday. And we'll see if these two RCR teammates can work together to get to the lead. That'd be cool. Maybe the next gen console will have backwards compatible games all the way to the original PlayStation. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, Hornaday, Harvick, they're gaining a lot of ground now that Hornaday is leading this pack back to Kenseth. A smart move there by Harvick. Hornaday's now in the draft of Matt Kenseth. Looking to make a move off turn 4. Problem is, they might draft together and get away from Harvick. Harvick's going to stay with them for now. Massive run through the tri-oval. Hornaday looks low. Harvick trying to go with him, but Kenseth is going to block Ron Hornaday to the bottom into turn number 1. Here comes Harvick again behind Hornaday. Kenseth up high to block Ron. Leaves a lot of bottom open there, and it was enough for Harvick to get blocked off, but Harvick is able to pass and clear his teammate of Hornaday. He's back to Kenseth and looking for a run now to pass the 17. Lap 70 at the line. Down low. No block through the tri-oval for Kenseth. Look at him crowding the 21 of Harvick, trying to side draft him into turn 1. Harvick going to pull clear. Was very close. Kenseth drives right around him on the high side. Hornaday to the bottom, almost made contact. Harvick and Hornaday very close together. Hornaday got to pull clear of the 21 of Harvick, not yet, and Harvick's just going to let him go into turn 3. Try to draft behind him. Horday's getting a big run off Kenseth. Great battle between the top 3 for the lead at Talladega. Again, we're getting later into this race. We have less than 50 laps to go. 47 at the line to be exact. Everybody will have to pit one more time yet. Maybe twice. We've had 5 cautions, 1 for debris. A couple of multi-car accidents, 1 huge one. And another hard crash at least. A couple hard crashes, really. A couple involved. We've had 2 drivers flip today. It's crazy. Now a great battle out at the front. Harvick has only led maybe 3 green flag laps all day long. He's still up here in 3rd. He's got to run. There is a slow car that the top 3 are approaching going into turn 1. They might start checking up. It's the 152. Oh, and Kenseth about ran into the back of him, and Harvick's going to get to the lead off turn 2. Kind of using the 152 of Darrell Bradford as a pick to get by both his teammate Hornaday and Matt Kenseth, and now Hornaday and Kenseth are side by side for second. 152 running very slow. He still hasn't shedded that piece of debris. He was involved in the huge accident way back before lap 20. Hornaday was able to get around Kenseth, by the way, for second. So Harvick back out in front. He's going to lead this lap at the line to make it an official lead change. As he tries to block the top and the bottom, he's trying to lead as many laps as possible in case he still does have a chance at most laps led. You never know. Harvick barely stays in front of Hornaday. Hornaday almost got underneath him, even though Harvick really didn't leave a full lane open. Up to the high side now, trying to block him. Here comes Kenseth to the bottom. Harvick just does not have the car that Kenseth and Hornaday have. Kenseth bobbles. Oh, wow, he got really loose. Had to back out of the gas. Hornaday again on the top. Hangs on to second, and Hornaday scrapes the wall off turn 4. So Kenseth got loose getting in. Then Hornaday got tight off the exit of 4, and Kenseth's back to second place. Both stalled out enough of a run to have Harvick lead another lap. They might have to work together to get around it, but you know, Hornaday being Harvick's teammate, he might go with Harvick. As these guys battle as hard as they are, it's allowing more drivers to catch up. 4th place car all by himself, starting to close. I wonder where Dale Jr.'s at in this race. I haven't seen him. He was very fast at Daytona, dominated most of that race, finished second, but And Kenny Wallace, he won the season opener at Daytona. Kenseth loose. He's on the apron again, bobbling around. But he's got more help. That's Kyle Busch in the 5 who's in the mix trying to win this race. He's in the top 4 in points. Kenseth is willing to go to the apron. I mean, he has proved that time and time again. He will clear Hornaday for second now. He's got a little extra help from Kyle Busch. And the runs are only going to get bigger as we get more cars in this pack. Busch to the inside of Hornaday. He clears him into turn 1 for third. Kyle Busch to the high side of Kenseth. Boy, he has really come in here strong all of a sudden. Kenseth to the inside for the lead. Into turn 3. Harvick could only block as long as he did. J.J. Yaley up to second. Kyle Busch drops to the bottom now. Oh, and Biffle turns Harvick off turn 4. Harvick saves it. What a save. What was Greg Biffle thinking? Forgot he was a rival. He hasn't raced in a couple races. But boy, from the last time these two got into it, he did not forget, and he about caused a major accident off turn 4. He had a huge run up the middle to go 3 wide. And that gives J.J. Yaley and Matt Kenseth, as well as Kyle Busch, he missed it as well, just a ginormous lead ahead of the rest of the field. Hornaday and Harvick have worked together again. Ooh, big block by Bobby Parker. Greg Biffle just about turned Kevin Harvick. I can't believe Harvick saved that car at 190 miles an hour like he did. I will show the points after the race, yes. It's going to be tough to get around Biffle in the 60. Oh boy. Horday's in line right behind him. Those two might draft away from Harvick. Harvick better be careful. That's more damage to the 21. Not helping matters, that's for sure. Leaders are 4.5 seconds ahead. J.J. Yaley leads. Biffle's blocking Hornaday and Harvick. Hornaday hasn't really pulled out to make that move. I don't think he wants to pass a hot-headed Greg Biffle as well. Go up and give Biffle the bumper. Oh, now Hornaday looked low and Biffle blocked him. He's trying to get Hornaday to go even lower, but Biffle goes all the way to that yellow line trying to block again. Biffle and Harvick do have a history in real life. May have been some of the issue that Biffle might have had with Harvick. Guess Biffle hasn't forgotten one way or another. I mean, the only other thing, he could have gotten tight, but I doubt that was the case. Harvick is getting pretty low on fuel. He's going to stay out this time. He's going to pit the following time by. Harvick's going to stay out an extra lap. Saving fuel by drafting behind teammate Ron Hornaday. No need to go up there with Biffle right now. He's got to play it safe. These guys have caught up about 3.1 off the lead into turn 1. They're definitely gaining really, really fast. They pull away from everybody else. A little 3-car tandem. 3-car tango going on. So we'll have 37 laps to go at the line. This is possibly going to be a fuel mileage race here for Kevin Harvick. Harvick's going to pit. Can't speed. This is the money stop. Easily gets down, no speeding penalty. Kind of locked the tires up a little bit, not as bad as earlier trying to make it to pit road. It'll be a full tank of fuel for Kevin Harvick, no adjustments. Needs a clean pit stop. Keep him on the lead lap. Team's making random adjustments. Did that at Red Bull on a no-tire pit stop, too. All by himself. We'll keep him on the lead lap in case we get a caution. Caution laps will help him save fuel as well to the end of the race if he does get it. And this will keep him on the lead lap, just in case the yellow comes out. And J.J. Yaley looking for his first win of the season. Only had 3 different winners in the first 7 races. Harvick has won 5, including the last 3. The way the cautions have come out sporadic times throughout the course of today's race, knowing the laps are getting more and more important, it's been absolutely intense all day long. I don't see us making it to the end under green. Kyle Busch to the lead through turns 3 and 4, passing J.J. Yaley for the time being. Cars coming onto pit road. Gotta be careful not to run over each other trying to get into the pits too. But remember, we had the 168 car flip after running into the back of the 108 when he came off pit road. That could very well bring out another caution. If that does end up happening. So definitely gonna have to be careful. Harvick's definitely gonna stay high. He knows he can't risk anything, though. He's got to get around these guys before they even come out of the pit lane and being well ahead of the leaders yet. But he's all by himself. He's got no drafting help, so he's losing a lot of ground. But he took fuel only. Everybody else likely taking tires. So he should cycle ahead of everybody pretty easily. It's up to 19th already as it is. A large majority of those guys came to pit road. The right front's starting to wear out. Saved his tires a lot better that run than what he had in earlier runs in the race as well. Probably could have saved him even more if Biffle didn't try to take him out off turn 4, that's for sure. There's been drama packed here at Talladega today, that is for sure. The drama, again, is not done yet. Billy, welcome back. Haven't alternated through the different camera angles in this race. So we'll do that right now. We're running by ourselves, just kind of buying time for the pack to catch us. Not everybody has hit pit road yet. Harvick pitted 1 lap before everybody else because of where he was on fuel. Can he make it to the end? Did they get the fuel tank full, which they didn't make a mistake, so they should have gotten it full. Might have to draft and save fuel here if the pack ends up catching him again. And he's on older tires, so he won't have as good of grip when the pack catches him compared to everybody else who did take tires under these late green flag stops in this race. It's Ashton Lewis in the 46. Harvick quickly gets around him. Lewis might have taken fuel only too, because he came out a lot further ahead of a lot of these other drivers that had already pit. I've never played a Need for Speed game. I don't know. I just never really thought about it, I guess. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. Gran Turismo as well is like one of those games that just never really thought about getting. I know my dad's played Gran Turismo before. I don't know which one. He could have played a much older one than what any of us have ever thought about, but he said he's played it. Tell you what, there are a lot of guys a lap down right now. Nearly everybody outside the top 20 because, again, not everybody has hit pit road. J.J. Yaley's still the leader. And those guys that are waiting till the very end of pit, they are definitely going to make it to the end. Harvick's going to be on the shortest leash to being able to make it on fuel to the end of this race compared to anybody else. Harvick trying to go to victory lane for the 6th time this season and be the 4th consecutive race. There's Paul Menard. We saw him in the top 10 earlier. There's about 3 or 4 cars that were just coming out of the pits there. Matt Kenseth will take over the race lead again. Going to the start-finish line. Some of these guys are cycling out ahead of Harvick. Ashton Lewis was really close to cycling out ahead of him. Actually, it might be just somebody running the apron of the racetrack. It might be coasting on fuel. Might have ran a little too far. And it's actually Mark Martin in the 9. We saw him on the apron earlier today. I think he had damage from that major accident earlier in the race. That's why we've seen him run that low. We saw him in the grass a couple times in the tri-oval, just trying to stay low and out of the way. Well, Greg Biffle to the lead into the tri-oval. Really side by side between a couple cars on the apron. Dale Jr. Boy, that's risky. He made a pass trying to get up to speed on the apron of the racetrack. I don't think I've ever seen that before. He is trying to get up to speed as quickly as possible. Jr. wants a shot to win this race. He hasn't won yet this season. He came close first 2 races at Rockingham and Daytona. Again, he led the most laps at Daytona. He's been nowhere near the front today, but he had a fast pit stop from what it looks like. Can he get it done? Might have that guy he passed getting off of pit road to maybe draft with. Harvick to 6th. There's Kyle Busch. Less than 30 to go. There's the 17 of Matt Kenseth. Harvick easily going to get up to speed ahead of a lot of these guys. They will run him down eventually. Greg Biffle has yet to hit pit road yet. He's currently in the lead. The top 3 still have to pit. So again, the top 3 will have to pit. There's Mark Martin again on the apron. Sorry, no, that was Bobby Parker. The other yellow and black car. Because that was actually for position that time. And there's Ron Hornaday in the 2. Again, Harvick doesn't have single car speed, and he's all by himself. Greg Biffle still in the race lead. He is the last driver that has to hit pit road. To lead as many laps as he can before having to pit. I can't see him going much further. Well, here comes some of the leaders. They're up to speed. They got a little drafting help. Kevin Harvick down the back straightaway is going to have some company. He's on older tires, which for speed, it's not going to matter. He's just hoping he's got grip around the bump here at Talladega Super Speedway. Ashton Lewis, Ron Hornaday Jr., the two cars that will catch him first. Not going to be able to block them both. They had too big of a run with Harvick having that big advantage on him. Hornaday going to go with his teammate Harvick for the moment. Now he goes to the high side off turn 4 with Ashton Lewis. Lewis cuts down in front. Harvick trying to block. Now Greg Biffle just came off of pit road himself. Harvick got a draft with Lewis right now on the bottom. It's going to keep him in front of the 2 of Ron Hornaday Jr. And there's Biffle trying to get up to speed down the back straightaway. How aggressive is he going to be? He tried to turn Harvick a little bit earlier in the race. He's trying to block Harvick right now. Here comes Biffle. Oh, man. Still trying to get up to speed. Lewis cut. Harvick a little bit of a break. And now the 152 off turn 4. Up on the high side. Harvick to the apron to try and get around Lewis. He got loose off turn 4. Lewis holds on to the lead through the tri-oval. Ashton Lewis trying to win at Talladega and the NASCAR Busch Series. That might have been the move to try and pull away from Harvick. Harvick just barely clinging on in the draft, and it's enough. It is enough. Slower lap car still coming off of pit road. Side of the racetrack might be Mark Martin again. Yeah, that time it is Mark Martin. Thought Harvick might have been able to stick with Lewis. He still might be. It's really tough to tell if Harvick's getting enough of a draft to hang with him. Dale Jr.'s on the apron of the track now, so maybe he's got damage, unfortunately. Tough break for Dale Jr. Any sort of draft Harvick can get is only going to help him save fuel to the end. Lewis has ran away from him now. Harvick's going to need help. Old PS2 game. Maybe PS1 Demolition Derby. Interesting. There's a good sprint car game that I can't remember that was out on the PS2. Had a lot of licensed racetracks on it too. Wonder if I still have it somewhere. That'd be pretty cool to do a gameplay of. It's just like an unbranded series. Well, it was kind of like it's basically Tony Stewart's series that he has now, but it's well before he owned it. I mean, it was like an early 2000s game. It was really good though. I remember it. A lot of fun gameplays that you can do on it. Well, Greg Biffle in the 60 is one of the cars. And that is definitely a car Harvick does not, and I repeat, does not want to get alongside of him, especially this late in the race. Biffle makes the pass on Ron Hornaday now for third. He is all over the back of Kevin Harvick, and he's probably going to look to turn him. They're battling for more than just second. Harvick's trying to battle for his life right here, trying to win this race. Harvick wants Ron Hornaday to get around him. He does not want Biffle to get alongside of him because he already knows Biffle is going to take a swing at him. Biffle might even turn him from behind yet. Biffle's blocking Hornaday as well. 2 seconds off the race lead. Big run by Bobby Hamilton Jr. on the inside. He's trying to get around Ron Hornaday. Lewis has about a 2-second lead. Ooh, Biffle clipped the apron. Stays in the gas, though. Still up high to block Hornaday. Biffle's been aggressive already. He's being aggressive now. 21 laps to go at Talladega. Biffle, almost a late block. I guess it's not Bobby Hamilton Jr. I don't know who that is that just passed Hornaday for third. It might be Bobby Hamilton Jr. It's really tough to tell. Harvick really wants whoever that is to get around him. Harvick off the wall. Down the back straightaway. That didn't help. Somebody's going to get underneath him. J.J. Yaley in the 18. And Ron Hornaday Jr. Both going to get on by. Harvick would rather work with his teammate Ron Hornaday if he has the choice. Yaley has led laps late. He's got a fast car. Harvick with a big run now to the back of J.J. Yaley. Quickly passing Hornaday for third. And it looks like Yaley's going to be the man to step up. And he did a great job holding Biffle back despite the fact he had to give up the run on the bottom. And he's about halfway on fuel with 20 laps to go. Again, will Harvick make it to the end? I just really don't know. He'd have to go 37 laps on fuel to the end of this race. He hasn't gotten a chance to really save fuel since coming out of the pits until right now, drafting behind J.J. Yaley. And NASCAR 02 is definitely awesome. Thunder 2002. First ever NASCAR game I can remember playing. Yaley and Harvick are closing in pretty quick. They're definitely pulling away from Biffle and Hornaday, who are still battling with each other. Good to go to that middle to upper groove in turns 3 and 4 at least this time. Just trying to steer clear of Dale Jr., who's down on the apron. Don't want to see anything bad happen. Somebody running into the back of somebody else. Lap 100. 18 laps to go now at Talladega. Second and a half off the lead for second and third place. They are closing in on Ashton Lewis. Well, it's going to be Lewis's time to shine when Yaley and Harvick catch him, and maybe even other drivers who are closing in on him as well. Harvick's just praying he's got enough fuel to the end. Fuel mileage race at Talladega. 17 to go on top of an overall race to the end. It's more than just fuel. And these guys are going to go at it like they have all day long. Harvick's almost kind of hoping for a caution. I know he doesn't want to see the entire pack get a chance to win this thing, but that's likely going to be a bright spot in having him have enough fuel to make it to the end. He's ran so good all day. He survived the big one, and as well as a couple other hard crashes that happened behind him. And again, Yaley and Harvick closing in fast off turn 4 on Ashton Lewis. They're a half a second off the lead now through the tri-oval. Lewis has a slow lap car in front of him, I believe the 152. And Harvick's going to look low underneath Yaley. He's got to run on Lewis into turns 1 and 2. Going to go down to block Harvick into the corner. And Lewis barely held on to the lead. And look at the run stall out for Harvick as he stays in front of J.J. Yaley. And Ashton Lewis going to pull away again. What a great job by Lewis holding on to the lead. Harvick thought he had a chance. He got around Yaley, but he couldn't quite get around Ashton Lewis. Oh no, Yaley might pull away from him now. Harvick really trying to not let Yaley pull away. And he let him go way too much, and no drafting help immediately behind Harvick. No drafting help either. Here comes Ron Hornaday. Oh, contact with Hornaday. That's not what Harvick wanted. Got got loose off turn 2. Hornaday got in the back of him, and getting into 3 and 4, Harvick is going to stay on the high side. Biffle and Kenseth are coming. A couple of Roush cars working together. Harvick trying to pick up his teammate Ron Hornaday Jr. and see if the RCR cars can work together to get to the front. They're 2.5 seconds off the lead. They need to do something. Harvick's got Matt Kenseth behind him. Kenseth's led a lot of laps today. He has looked like one of the faster cars in the field, but so is Hornaday. Remember, the 3 you see at the front now are the 3 that were towards the front a little bit earlier. All battling before an earlier caution. Harvick's having a hard time trying to stay in the draft of Ron Hornaday Jr. They're still catching up. But Ashton Lewis has a little drafting help. Well, not quite yet. Yaley hasn't caught him, but he is closing in. I think Yaley's got a faster car than Ashton Lewis. That big block by Ashton Lewis definitely bought him a few more laps, that's for sure. Even lap traffic playing a factor at Talladega. Harvick a little loose. Remember, he's on older tires, too. Tires should hold up to the end, considering they're not even in the red yet. Somebody on the apron of the racetrack down the back straightaway. That's Dale Jr. again. About 1.5 seconds off the lead through 3 and 4. And Kenseth is holding with Hornaday and Harvick right now. And I'm sure Ashton Lewis is blocking for his life as Yaley is pulled to the back bumper of him. And comment down in the chat below. We are getting down to the wire here at Talladega. Who will win? 12 laps to go. Right now, looks like we have 6 drivers in the mix. Ashton Lewis, J.J. Yaley, Ron Hornaday Jr., Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth in top 5, and then Biffle in 6 has a shot at it still, too. There's a large pack of cars way behind Biffle yet who can definitely catch this lead pack if they all get grouped together and start racing each other. Which is looking like we're going to shape up in the final 10 laps for that to be the case. Top 5, all within a second. First time, really, since the green flag pit stops, since we've seen these guys start to bunch back together again. Especially with the varying pit strategies of when everybody pitted, if they were taking fuel and tires, just fuel. And Hornaday and Harvick trying to close. 1/4 of a tank of fuel left for Kevin Harvick, and I'm sad to say, I don't think Harvick's got enough to the end. Well, J.J. Yaley's looking for the lead. He gets to the inside of Ashton Lewis. Harvick has a huge run to the inside of Ron Hornaday Jr. Lewis and Yaley side drafting each other for the lead at Talladega. Harvick made that quick pass on his teammate for 3rd, and he's trying to help him draft with Yaley. Lewis is kind of hung out on the outside because Hornaday's going to go behind Harvick as well. Into the tri-oval. J.J. Yaley to the lead with 10 laps to go at Talladega. And Harvick is going to follow him to get by Lewis for 2nd. Now can Harvick get around Yaley? These 2 leaders getting side by side. Help the 21 get around Hornaday, and then Lewis. Big run now down the back straightaway. Harvick, he's going for broke. He had the run, takes it to the lead into turn 3 on J.J. Yaley. Multiple lead changes already in the closing laps. Hornaday behind his teammate Harvick. Yaley with another run on the high side to get back to the lead. Harvick never officially led a lap that time. Hornaday trying to side draft the 21 of Harvick. Teammates kind of want to work together, but at the same time, they're not really working together now. It's every man for themselves. You never know if we're going to get a caution. Then Harvick might have enough fuel to the end. It's not Bobby Labonte. No, it's not. Not the Cup Series. Again, this is the Busch Series. Harvick drafting behind Yaley. In turns 3 and 4. On the inside as they pull away from the 3 cars behind him. Harvick looks low into the tri-oval. Yaley tried to block. Harvick underneath him. A little bump, a little run. He tried to side draft him. He pulled him back that way, though. 8 to go. Harvick back out in front of Talladega. Oh, baby. Kenseth with a run on the high side. Hornaday about ran into the side of him. Yaley down low. Hornaday to the top. Kenseth down to the bottom. Harvick trying to block both lanes down the back straightaway. Hornaday had the run. Stalled out. Harvick with a block off turn 4. Hornaday almost bounced into the wall. Slow car to the bottom of the track, likely Mark Martin. I only know that because he's in the grass again. No, it's Dale Jr. Jr.'s in the grass. Trying to stay out of everybody's way. Let him race. 7 laps to go. They're going to catch that 152 car one more time as well. Harvick trying to protect both lanes. But does he have enough fuel to the end? He's not saving any leading, but he has to lead. Big block on Yaley. 152. Very, very slow. He's still got heavy damage to his car. Almost pulls up in front of Harvick. Harvick stays in the gas, just gets to the outside. Hornaday drafts with Harvick. He gets to second. Hornaday's in the wall off turn 4. He got really tight. 6 laps to go now for Kevin Harvick at Talladega, but he's likely a lap or 2 short on fuel. He really burned a lot during this final run. And he blocks. And he's going to get down low for the lead. What a move. He faked high, went low. Hornaday tried to block. He wasn't clear. And he almost turned himself. He saved it. He didn't hit the wall. Harvick back out in front. Hornaday had it, but he moved up too early. Harvick's got the run. Hornaday lost second. But there is a big pack brewing now from third on back, and I believe that is Greg Biffle in the 60. Up to second, that is a rival of Kevin Harvick. Well, if Harvick needs a caution, that would be the guy to turn. Biffle's got to run to the inside. He runs Harvick up the racetrack. Contact. Harvick saves it. Oh, my goodness. 5 laps to go at Talladega. Biffle took a swing at Harvick for a second time today. Second time off turn 4. Harvick saves it again. He's got about a 3-second lead. But again, no drafting help to try and save fuel. Oh, Biffle could have just taken the lead right there. Instead, he just tried to wipe out Harvick. Stacked up the rest of the field behind him. And that fuel tank is almost empty. I mean, Harvick, he's coming to 4 to go right now. Just over a 2-second lead. They caught up about 0.8 of a second in 1 lap. Harvick, no drafting help. Desperately in need of a caution. They don't have to race back to the checker. It would save them more laps. There's one attempt at a green-white checker, I believe. I know in the Cup Series there is. There might not be in the Busch Series. Caution could end the race. I know for sure in the Cup Series there's one attempt at a green-white checker. I believe in the trucks as well. I'm not completely sure about the Busch Series. Boy, they caught Harvick quick. I didn't think they were going to catch him that quickly. 3 to go at the line. I mean, Harvick's got to stay out. He's got to. And Hornaday's the guy in second trying to lead this pack to the front. It's not looking good for Harvick. Knowing the fuel, where it's at. Hornaday! Oh, that was a late block by Harvick. 3 to go. Uneasy. That was not the right kind of block to make on a teammate. And I think Hornaday's in the wall in turns 1 and 2. He was up near it and about wrecked again. I don't think these guys are going to make it to the end of the race the way they're all racing each other. J.J. Yaley's the new second place driver. He's going to try to get around the 21 of Kevin Harvick. Harvick down low to block Yaley. Oh, he's down to the apron. He's desperately trying to get around him. Here comes the pack again. Kenseth in line behind Haley on the bottom. I think that's Paul Menard on the outside. Now Yaley moves up high. 2 to go at the line. Harvick's out of fuel on the front stretch. 3 wide as they split him. Paul Menard to the lead. Off turn 4. Harvick ran 2 laps short. Wow, I didn't think he was going to be that short. He might try to turn Greg Biffle to get a caution. Well, he tried. Didn't work. Oh, and he can't get around him. He cost Biffle a couple more spots. Paul Menard leads here at Talladega. A 3-wide pass. Harvick better get off the racetrack or he's going to get drilled by one of these guys. He's going to keep it on the inside. He's going to go down to the apron. What a tough break for Kevin Harvick. White flag in the air, though. 1 lap to go for his teammate, Paul Menard. He was blocking for his teammate Hornaday to get to the lead, but instead it was his other teammate, Paul Menard. Harvick's probably going to finish 1 lap down, which would actually finish him in 26th. Well, maybe. Guess he can run back up onto the banking. Not sure if that's going to really do much. Here come the leaders off turn 4. Push Paul Menard to the victory. Oh, somebody's coming in hot on the inside. Oh, I forgot Dale Jr. was running the apron the whole time. I was going to say Harvick was low and trying to get out of the way. Checkered flag in the air. Paul Menard is going to win his first race of the season. Biffle could have been out of gas, too. I don't know. He was very slow. I don't think he was. Harvick's losing a ton of spots on the final lap from everybody else that's a lap down. He finally gets to pit road. Well, this will get him back to 60 miles an hour. He's going to abort and then hit the start-finish line here. What a tough break for Harvick, running out of gas with 2 laps to go. And Paul Menard is going to win this race. Harvick limps it the entire last lap, out of gas. Wild race at Talladega. Paul Menard by 82 1/1000ths of a second beat J.J. Yaley to the line. Leading not many laps, but he led the most important, the 2 last laps of the race. And a tough break as Harvick finishes 35th. He has not had luck on the super speedways this year. 5 cautions total, 2 hours, 9 minutes. We'll take a look at the race results. Menard with the win. J.J. Yaley second, Matt Kenseth third, Kenny Wallace finishes 4th, Ashton Lewis rounds out the top 5, Dwayne Borland 6th, Kyle Busch 7th, Ron Hornaday Jr. 8th, Hermie Sadler 9th, and 10th place is rounded out by Bobby Hamilton Jr. Got some work to do, yeah. We had the points lead by 52 coming into the day. I'm pretty sure Harvick just lost the points lead. Menard led 3 laps. I think it was the final 3. I think he led coming to 2 to go, which would have meant he led the last 3. I think he beat Harvick to the line. 28 lead changes today with these 5 cautions in a 117-lap daily race. But he lived up to its expectations as unpredictable. We had a couple big ones. I mean, this race had everything. It had fuel mileage at the end. Harvick, 2 full laps short. I didn't think he was going to be that short when we pitted. Especially pitting only 1 lap earlier than everybody else. He would have expected maybe 1 lap short. But I guess him not being able to draft for most of that final run definitely hurt him as well. He was only really able to draft for about 15 to 20 laps, of maybe half of that final run. See, we had 25 cars finished on the lead lap. Biffle finished 24th. We got a little bit of payback on him there at the end. It looked like he was going to have a chance to win until we about spun him after we ran out of gas. DNFs go to Blue Castleberry, Edmund Hammock, Tiny Buchanan, Daryl Bradford. And then we saw Mark Martin running really slow. He finished a ton of laps down. Craig Miller, DNF there late in the race as well. We saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. running really slow. He finished about 7 laps down. He did lead 1 lap today. And Ray Westbury also, I believe, was running very slow on the apron. Finished a few laps down himself. And there's Harvick in 35th. Tough break. But again, a wild Talladega race to say the least to wrap up our doubleheader here today. Still early in the season. But also, to being early in the year, that definitely hurt our running order. Next race is at California for the Busch Series. The Stater Bros 300. Well, hopefully that race gets you excited for Talladega coming up later this weekend for the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series in real life. Again, I'll be there. I'll be vlogging the trip. The entire trip. In case something crazy happens on the road down there or something, we'll have it all on camera for you. Take a look at the standings, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. will take the points lead. Kevin Harvick, who came in 52 points ahead of him, leaves 29 points behind. Kyle Busch, 3rd. David Stremme, 4th. Dwayne Borland, 5th in points. J.J. Yeley moves up to 6th. And that's what I mean, top 6, all within 190 points, which is the max amount of points you can score in one race. Talladega really shook things up. As expected, especially that early in the season. Well, we got the most poles this year. Still have the most wins. 4 different winners now in the first 8 races. Harvick has 5 of them. But boy, oh boy, what a race. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Enjoy your trip, brother. Hey, I will indeed enjoy my trip. Just a couple days away. Leaving in less than 48 hours. Let's go. We'll be streaming again tomorrow. We'll be streaming nearly all day tomorrow. I do have to work in the morning. I'm picking up a half day at work. Means I have Friday and Saturday off. Unpaid because I don't have vacation time at my new job yet. Got a couple more months before I accumulate vacation time. So, picking up a half day at work. Tomorrow I'll be off at noon. And I'm not going golfing because it looks like the weather is going to be pretty bad up here where I live. As far as cold temperatures go, it's supposed to be about 48, super windy. We just had snow flurries today, and we had about 4 inches of snow last night, if it tells you anything. Yes, in late April. Can't wait till Talladega. It's going to be in the mid-70s all week. I'll be able to go golfing again. But thanks for everybody watching. Again, like, share, and subscribe. We got a special stream earlier in the day tomorrow when I get off of work. And also, we got the NASCAR Fantasy Podcast at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well tomorrow. There's a new sports game that came out earlier in the week. Might be testing that out on the channel with a live realistic broadcast. Not going to do too many of those streams, but we're breaking out of NASCAR for a couple hours. But just to bring it back with the NASCAR Fantasy Podcast, our full race live stream as well, and an online lobby late tomorrow. We'll be streaming again a lot tomorrow on the channel before I leave for Dega because we'll go about 3 or 4 days without some streaming. So enjoy the rest of your night and be back on the channel for much more tomorrow.